We won't be standing very long, but. So just take your feet a little more than hip width. And just be comfortable, relax. Tune into your body and feel your feet on the ground. Feel your weight. Tune into your breathing. Then let's bring the hands together at the heart. Bow the head. And salute the teacher within. And then release the arms. And we're just going to shift our weight from side to side. And we're going to then begin to swing the arms up to one corner and down to the opposite corner. And let yourself get, kind of fast. We're just only going to do a few of these. So we're just trying to warm up the shoulders and the spine. And then we'll switch and go to the other side. At your neck. Kind of go with your arms after a bit. Twist a little bit, rotate your spine. And then come to stillness. And then we'll go the other way. So up to the opposite corner and down. A little blood flowing. And come on back. So we're gonna do tree pose, but we're not holding it so long. We're gonna do it about 3 to 5 times, depending on how long you do stay. But the point of this again is warming up, not, building strength. It's more about warming up your joints. So you're just gonna go to a tree pose and come out. And just switch back and forth, side to side. So obviously we're warming the hips and the shoulders. Tend to do about 5 of these, but okay. Then we're gonna do some chair, but try to take it as deep as you can. Okay, so I tend to go all the way into a squat with the arms out and just going all the way down and then all the way back up. But if that's too much, you can come, just come as low as you can. And the hips are popping this morning. We're doing, I'm not sure how many I've done, but about 5. And then just come back. And then you may want to sit on a blanket or 2, depending on how tight your hips are. Tighter the hips, the higher you want to have your blankets. You could even sit on a bolster, although that can make it hard to balance. And then just stretch your legs out in front of you. And we're just going to pull one knee into the chest and then the other. Okay. And then pull one knee in, grab hold, and we're just going to easily move the leg from side to side. And then take your hands underneath your legs. So I'm just kind of wrapping my arms and I'm just shaking. Shake the lower leg, let it swing. And then release. Bring the other leg up and kind of move it from side to side. And then shake it, which doesn't seem like that should be hard, but I find that kind of challenging. And then release it. And then try to sit up nice and tall. Because no matter how hard you may try, it's very easy to slump when you've got one leg lifted. So now take in your right leg again. And we're going to circle, try to bring your foot as close as you can to you. Lift it up as high as you can. Bring the heel down towards the floor. It's like making a big circle with the lower leg. And then switch sides. And then release. So kind of following my yantra warm-up series. So now with your legs in a kind of a sukhasana, but a very loose sukhasana. So not, actually crossed, but one leg close and then lifting the other leg up again, swinging back and forth side to side from the hip joint. And then other leg. Okay. Bring both feet together in Baddha Konasana. And let's just bounce our legs. Think of like a butterfly. And you can have your hands behind you or grab hold of your ankles, either one. Just really let those hips warm up. Okay. And then stretch your legs out. Okay, so this next one grab hold underneath. We do this a lot with our lotus practice, but grab underneath that right knee, pull the knee outside and grab the foot, pull the heel in as close to your perineum as you can. Now that's the basic part, but there's another part to this, and I want you to be very mindful when you do this. And it's the part in which you bring the foot up to the other leg. So it looks like this. So you pull out, you lean over, grab that foot, pull it up onto your other thigh, and then release it out. Okay, now, so don't do that if it causes, if you can't, don't force, in other words. So you go out, you lift, you pull that knee forward and the foot up onto the other thigh. Okay, so 5 on each side. So when you're ready, and you go quickly. So it's not like, you know, it has to be perfect. Because the idea is we're warming the hips, the knees, the ankles, and our brain, right? Because this takes some focus, some attention. But this is the practice for lotus position. Not that we're going to do lotus, but this is how you get to it. Okay. Then lean back, both knees bent, swing your legs from side to side. Really roll to the outside of the hips because it generally feels good after that last thing where you're really working those buttock muscles. Okay, coming back. Now, sitting with your legs out. Let's bend that right knee again, pull it right up into your groin, arms up and fold forward. So we're going to do this 5 times. So just up and down, try to keep that left leg centered on the back of the leg. And just go as far forward. Think of leading with your navel, not your head. And then come back, change sides. And come back. Now, we're going to sit. Let me see if this is right. I don't think this is right. No, this isn't right. Is it right? Sorry. I thought I had this. Huh. I don't remember this one. Okay, we can do it though. Okay, so you're just going to sit with a very loose, open Sukhasana, if you will. So both feet are on the floor. And your top leg, what would be your top leg is forward. Can you see how, yeah, like way out in front? And then just inhale and exhale, fold. And switch, which leg is forward. Just give yourself lots of room. And then again. Lead with your navel so that you're pulling your navel forward, not just rounding your back. So it doesn't matter how far forward you go. And then go ahead and take both feet forward. So you want about 2 hand spans from your groins to your feet in Baddha Konasana. And same thing, inhale up and exhale forward. So these get progressively more challenging as you continue. Okay. Now we'll come into that pinwheel shape. Pull your right heel into your perineum and then pull your left heel back into your left hip. Take the arms up. So try to, pull your right foot in close to your groin. And then take the arms up, turn towards your right knee, go forward, come back up, turn towards your left knee, and go forward. And again, just switch back and forth, getting a little bit of rotation in your spine. Last one on this side. And then switch legs. Same thing, arms up, turn towards the left knee and go forward, and then the right knee. And obviously, for me, the back leg going forward over it is way more. I mean, I don't go very far with that. I just don't have that kind of rotation in that hip. Looks like Erin can do that pretty simply. Okay, so I've been doing these, as I was telling Peggy, quite a bit. I didn't do it yesterday because my allergies have been so bad. And oh my gosh, I couldn't believe how much my hips were bothering me this morning. Okay. So again, this one's a little challenging. Well, they all start to get really challenging. So you're probably want to turn your blanket more this way to sit on the end than the other way where it's cross. So I'm going to just give you another reminder. Don't force, don't push anything. Just do the best you can, go as far as you can. This is really it's always been challenging for me. So again, it'll be easy for Erin because she's got these hips that are so open and loose, but I think Peggy and I struggle a little bit with this. So this is where you come into Virasana. You bring the one heel back by that hip, and then swing it forward. Okay, and you just go side to side. And if you find it hard to go quickly, generally, it is due to some stiffness. So it gets better with time. Basically, we're taking our joints and all of their different rotations. Okay, so If that weren't challenging enough, now we're going to take one leg back and lean back and come up. Now you can go back as far as you can. Now, Erin, make sure that you keep your knees together. Don't let the knee come out to the side because that's really not good for your knee or your hip. And usually one side's a little harder than the other. Amazing though how good this is in the long run. Repeating it. It's already gotten so much better for me. Okay, last one. And okay. Now we're going to take the right knee, stack it on top of the left knee. Take your hands back by your hip and just lead with your navel, lean towards that top knee. And 5, and then switch sides. And then right knee over. Take the arms up. Now you go as far over as you can, 5 times. Oh, and I'm just realizing I skipped something really important. So we'll go back and do it after this. And if we had done it the way we were supposed to, it probably would have made all of this easier for you. So sorry. And again, lead with your navel. Really stretches that bottom leg. I think it stretches the bottom leg even more than it's stretching the hip. Okay. Stretch both legs out and just give them a shake. Okay, so what I skipped was going back into this pinwheel shape with your legs. Reach back behind you and grab your hands in any way that you can. If you can't reach, get a belt. You could just hook your thumbs. It doesn't really, it's not really important how you connect. And then you come over, and this is a go all the way around in circles. So we're not coming up and down, we're circling all the way around. And we're going to go in both directions. So 5 times in one direction and then reverse and go in the other direction. And I remembered this after having forgotten it because I really like this. Feels so good on my low back. And then after you've done 5 going in both directions, switch. And same thing. Or if I posted. No, I didn't. And then coming back up. Okay. Is everybody doing okay? Feeling warm? Okay, so now we'll do both knees stacked one on top of each other. Try to get your heels back by the opposite hip. And then lift up nice and tall and try to bring your navel towards that top, that right inner thigh. And you don't want to be rocking on your hips so much as just stretching the outer hips. If you rock or let your hips come up, you'll miss the stretch. And that's really what it's about. Change which leg's on top. And again. And then go back to the first side. And then we'll circle all the way around. Again, we'll go both directions before we change sides. And then change what leg's on top and repeat that. And then go ahead and come up and stretch your legs out and give them a little shake. Okay. Now, come into Baddha Konasana. This one I kind of like to do with my feet off of my mat so they don't get stuck. Take your arms up and we're going to stretch the right leg out while reaching for the right foot and pulling the left leg back. So I'll do that again. So it starts up and you reach and then you come back and you do the other side. Okay. So when I started doing this, I found this next to impossible. Just after a couple of weeks, it's getting easier. Of course, Erin's doing it like a pro. And again, just 5, thank goodness, on each leg. Now, stretch both legs out. Really anchor down your outer hips. Take the arms up and you come forward. Really use those legs. Lead with your navel. Ah. Okay. Now you're going to bring your right foot up into the groin. You're going to turn towards that right leg and let the foot come forward. Roll and turn to look towards that left foot. And then roll back and switch. And roll over and look over the left leg to the right foot. And just back and forth. And sometimes I forget how many I've done when it feels really good. But I'm going to call this one my last one. If you want to keep going, certainly up to you. Okay, so last week we did the transition one, or we transitioned from being sitting up like we've been to coming onto our back. So we start with the legs in front, take the arms up, bring the knees in. Now, to transition into squat, if you need to, take your hands by your hips, push yourself up, come up onto your toes, bring the knees down, take the arms up, release the feet, sit, bring your arms down, up again, turn the toes under. You can bring your hands down if you need to help get your knees up, back to the starting position. Okay. So the idea is to go pretty fast. So you're really warming up your feet. And so if you don't need your arms to help you so much with the transition, is really good for the core. Oops. Last one. Ah, that was a challenging one. So when you've finished, you can lay on your back. And just be comfortable. Enjoy the break. My heart's beating pretty hard after that last thing. Okay, so bringing the legs a little closer together. We're just going to pull one knee into the chest and release it. and switch, alternate sides. And again, 5 on each side. Now, after you've done 5 on each side, you repeat the same thing, only it's kind of like a bicycle. You pull your right knee in, lift the opposite foot, lift the head, and then you just switch sides. You just do 5. And when you're through, just release and relax. Okay. Make sure you don't have anything in your way on your sides now. So this next one, pull your right knee in and then stretch the leg straight up. And without holding on to your leg, bring that right leg across to the left, sweep it down towards your other foot, and then bring it up. And do that 5 times. Big circles. And when you've done 5, you switch to the other side. Let yourself roll on your hips. And then relax when you're through with both sides. And then bending your knees, feet wider than the pelvis, windshield wiper your legs from side to side. And then bring the legs close to one another. Exhale, pull your knees into your chest, arms at a T, palms turned up. Press your shoulder blades down and then bring your knees over to one side and then to the other side. So back and forth, side to side, rolling on those hips. Now, there's 3 versions of this. So they get progressively more challenging. So you continue to do the version that you're able to do. So the next version will be when you're in the center, before you go back to the right, you straighten the left leg and keep it straight, reaching to the right, come back to the middle, stretch your right leg up, go to the left, and you just switch the legs, opposite leg to opposite hand. As I'm talking and doing this, I'm constantly losing my count. So if I go more or less, please forgive me. Now the last one is both legs straight and reaching your feet towards your hands and just rocking back and forth, side to side. This one's pretty challenging and to keep your neck out of it. So do the one that works for you. Those legs pulled in as close to your trunk as you can. And then relax. Whew. Okay. So now pull your knees so that they're stacked right over your hips. Keep your arms by your side. And we're simply going to put one leg on the opposite, or one foot on the opposite knee and switch sides. You're done. Just put your feet on the floor. The next one, you'll be happy, I think, about this because it'll feel really good after all of that. It's just simple bridge. So with the arms by your side, inhale, lift your hips up and lower them back down 5 times. And then the next 5, still bridge, but take your arms and reach them over your head. And then come back. And then relax when you finish with that. Okay. Then we go to something that's a little harder. So back to the core. So this and the spine. So do again, just do the best you can. That's all we can ever do. And it does get better. So these are spinal rolls. We've done them in class before. So this one is where you pull your knees to your chest and kick your legs over your head. Control and come back out, legs straight. So just 5 of these and make the effort. If you can't get your legs all the way over your head, make the effort to. That's how it works. And after you've done 5, just take a couple of breaths. And then sit up. Take your legs into Baddha Konasana and grab your big toes with your first 2 fingers. So this is basically the same thing you just did. I personally find this one easier than what we just did. But you'll have to decide for yourself, but it's basically the same thing, only you get more momentum. So it's just roll back, kick your legs over your head, and then roll back up. Not to plop on your back. Stay with your back flat. And after 5, rest. You should be feeling the warmth now, not just through your feet, ankles, knees, and hips, but now through your spine and your belly. We're just kind of working up the body to get the whole body warmed up and really, really loose, flexible, moving the joints and all of their potential and possible rotations. So now we're going to turn over onto our bellies and we're going to come into child's pose. So this next thing that we're going to do is something that we've done many times in class. So stretch your arms forward. And then we're going to come forward and start to come towards up dog. So as you push your hips forward, keep your shoulder blades down, turn your toes under, push to straighten the legs and do a little bit more of an up dog. Then put your knees on the floor, release your feet, bend your elbows till you're more in a cobra pose. Don't let yourself go all the way down. Then push, lift the hips up, go back to child's pose. So forward, pushing the hips with the elbows straight, turn the toes under, lift your knees, do a little bit more of a back bend. Knees down, feet flat, come down to cobra, shoulder blades down your back. Then push with your hands, pull your hips back, child's pose. So 3 more like that, do the best you can. I like to just keep it going with no breaks between each rotation. Takes a little bit of time to really learn this. And then when you finish, lay on your belly with your chin on the floor. So looking forward, bring your arms by your sides with your palms up. Now you're going to bend at your elbows and just bring the back of your hands onto your waist. So the upper arm bones are on the floor. Now, make your legs wide. Now bend your knees and bring your toes together. And then keeping your knees wide, drop your feet, keep them together as long as you can. Drop your feet towards the floor, then let them separate, go wide again. Bend the knees, pull the toes together, drop them towards the floor. 5 rotations. And then relax. And come up onto your hands and knees and take some cat-cow. Oh, yay, something familiar. When you've finished 5 rounds of cat-cow, lay back on your stomach, on the chin. Bring your arms beside you with the palms down. Now keep your navel on the floor. Lift one leg up and lower it. Other leg up, lower it. Just do that 5 times, alternating. And when you're done, bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Put your forehead on the floor and cobra pose 5 times. Keep the elbows bent the whole time. Push with your hands. And then come all the way down. We're going to do downward dog. So we're going to start from here, push down to come up into cobra, then come up onto your knees, turn your toes under, come into down dog. And then knees to the floor, pull yourself forward, bend your knees back to facing the floor. And cobra, turn your toes under, lift your hips, push back into down dog, lower the knees, bend the elbows, cobra, and then flat. 3 more like that. And when you're done, I knew I got those out of order. Lay on your back for a minute and relax. Okay, we're almost done, guys. We're now up to the shoulders and neck. Aren't you happy? So now releasing the neck is so much easier. When you have gotten all of the joints below the shoulders and neck really warmed up and loose and kind of worked out all their kinks, the neck is much more willing to let go. So we're going to do this in Virasana, not in Virasana, in Vajrasana. So if you're uncomfortable sitting on your heels for any length of time, you can, use put a blanket under or 2, or even your bolster. Now, I really love these neck movements in the way that we're going to do them. They're probably help my neck more than any way I've ever done neck release. Gosh, we're almost done, guys. Okay. So you just take your hands back behind you, and this is the real key. So if you can't interlace your fingers, you can always use a strap, but somehow try to get your arms back behind you so you can lift your chest. That's what releases the neck. So keep the chest up, tailbone heavy, drop your chin down, then lift your chin. So just up and down 5 times. May not feel very good while you're doing it. And then after that movement, turn your head from side to side. Look over one shoulder, then the other shoulder. Keep the chest up. And then from there, come back to the center, drop one ear to its shoulder, and then the other. And then after that, you're going to rotate your head 5 times in one direction and then 5 times in the other. And just listen to the neck symphony. Really keep those shoulder blades down and keep your neck lifted. And after you're through, just relax. Ah. And now take your hands to your shoulders, bring your elbows to touch in front of you, and then up and around. So big circles. Circles. Keep trying to touch those elbows. And then relax. Now take your arms out shoulder height. This is really easy. Turn your arms from your shoulders where your palms are up. Turn them over until to go as far forward as you can. And then back and forward, back and forward. Feeling it in your shoulder blades and your shoulder joints, even though you're moving your arms, it's not the primary place you're trying to feel it. Now I'm going to turn around. This is, again, very familiar what we're fixing to do. It's just fast. Okay, so then you just do like you're doing Gomukhasana, but you do it fast. You don't have to, actually go to the clasp. It's more about the movement that you're doing with your shoulders. And I've lost count. I think I've done probably 5. And then last thing, separate your knees nice and wide. Take your hands, turn the palms away from you, and put the palms on the floor. And then pull your shoulder blades down your back and around your back and stretch the underside of your forearms. And this one you can just hold. Try to keep pressing the heel of your hand down to the floor. And when you're ready, release it. And we're done. So we'll take a Shavasana. So I'll just say about this series, as we're aging, your joint health becomes more important than it ever has been. So that's why I'm really loving this series. It makes everything else so much easier. So I know it's not You know, it's not the typical stuff that we do, but it's still yoga. It's yantra yoga. And this is what we did in yoga therapy. This is like if somebody is really having trouble with their joints, with arthritis or any other kind of issue, you do these kinds of things to help return to a good, strong baseline. So you can use any props that you like for your Shavasana. The idea here is to just relax completely. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to stop the recording and turn on some music to do your Shavasana in.